Greetings, welcome, and thank you for joining me for this episode of Ask the Stones. Our question is from Muhindra. Please, sir, I am very hopeful that you can help me. I cannot see pictures when I send Reiki. I have sickness. Is it blocking Reiki? What am I doing wrong? Many blessings to you. Thank you, Muhindra, and many blessings to you as well. Thank you for this question. This is a wonderful question that many people have questions about. So thank you for bringing this forward. I first want to say that I am sorry for your sickness, whatever sickness that may be. Well, I also want to say, Muhindra, that perhaps I shouldn't be sorry for your sickness. You don't say that your sickness is a challenge for you and that you don't like your sickness. I'm just making that assumption. So my apologies, and I send you blessings and best wishes for your health challenges. So your question is if your sickness is blocking your Reiki or is creating challenges for you, is preventing you from seeing images, pictures when you send Reiki. So I'm going to answer this in a couple of ways, Muhindra, and on a couple of levels. The first thing that I want to say about your question with regards to not being able to see pictures or images when you send Reiki, some people see images, some people hear messages, some people feel things, and others don't. And so if you don't see things, if you don't hear things, if you don't feel things, there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with your Reiki practice. There is nothing wrong with the sending of your Reiki, or I should say Reiki itself that comes through you. So I really want to alleviate your concerns about not being able to see pictures or images when you send Reiki. This, for myself and my own experience, is not something that I have always done or been able to do in my Reiki practice. When I first started as a Reiki practitioner, I did not see images. I did not hear messages. And so this is not something that I had for years, really. I will say that for me personally, it was when I started focusing specifically on distant Reiki that I really started to see and hear things. But in-person Reiki, I really didn't have those experiences when I first started out. Now, whether you have them or you don't is absolutely okay. So if you see images, pictures, if you hear messages, if you feel things, great. And if you don't, great. So know that whether or not you see pictures when you send Reiki has nothing to do with whether or not you are a good Reiki practitioner. I mean, whatever that means. And it also doesn't mean that you are not sending Reiki or even that you are sending bad Reiki. None of those are true. As a matter of fact, you can't send bad Reiki. There's no such thing as bad Reiki. So, Muhindra, I really want to encourage you that this is not a bad thing that you cannot see pictures. And it does not mean that anything is wrong with you. And it only means that this is not something that is part of your Reiki journey at this time. It's just not part of your Reiki experience at this time. And that's really all that it means. At some point, you may be able to see pictures and hear messages, feel things, or you may not. You may be able to experience them, and then you may have a period of time when you don't. What I really want to encourage you to do is to release judgment of yourself over whether you can or cannot see images. And I really want to encourage you to not compare yourself to other Reiki practitioners who can, who report that they do. Some Reiki practitioners see energy and see auras. I don't see auras when I send Reiki. Now, I'll see colors at times, but to say to someone, "Oh, your aura is this color," that's not something that I can do, and it's not something that I've invested energy in trying to do either. That also leads me to encouraging you to not try to hear things and see things and force them. It's not something that you want to force, but you rather just want to let happen. So if you are sending Reiki to someone and you're feeling pressure, "Oh no, I need to send them a message. Oh no, where are the images? I'm not seeing any images. Oh no, something is wrong with me. It must be I'm a bad Reiki practitioner. And oh no, don't people want to get messages when you send Reiki?" No, not everyone wants messages, number one. And number two, not everyone sees or hears messages as a Reiki practitioner. And number three, sometimes you might see them and sometimes you won't. And sometimes you might have a period of getting the pictures, and sometimes you'll have a stretch of time where you don't get the pictures. This is all part of your Reiki journey, and I really want to encourage you not to judge yourself or your own experience of Reiki or your own Reiki journey. So I really, Muhindra, want to encourage you to release that judgment and accept where you are on your Reiki journey. Know that that's exactly where you need to be. And know that if you never see pictures, that's okay too. It does not mean that there is something wrong with you. It does not mean that you have blockages. It does not mean that there is something wrong with the Reiki that you are sending. So, Muhindra, I really want to encourage you to take pressure off of yourself, to not worry about not seeing pictures and images. That is all okay. And I want to encourage you to not compare yourself to other Reiki practitioners who do see images and who do hear messages. So please know that your experience with Reiki is a valid and valuable experience. So, Muhindra, you are okay, whether you can see images or not. And again, I want to encourage you not to force them. I think that this is wonderful for anyone who does any kind of energy work or any kind of healing work, any kind of helping work, even if that's not necessarily what we think of as energy work. Maybe that's someone who works as a counselor or a coach or a nurse. we don't need to know everything. And as a matter of fact, we can't know everything that there is to know about a subject. And that also means that if there's something in the experience that we don't have, like seeing pictures that other people do, it's okay. It doesn't mean that we are not good at what we do. So Muhindra, I want to encourage you not to judge yourself for this. I also want to encourage you that you're not seeing pictures or images. I am going to ease your fears. This has nothing to do with any sickness that you may or may not have. Reiki is universal life force energy. I know that you know that. And Reiki goes where it needs to go. And Reiki is not something that we as practitioners send, but rather something that we funnel to our clients. So we serve as a funnel for the Reiki. We do not do the healing. The Reiki does the healing. We do not send the energy. Reiki is the energy that comes through us. So it's not our energy that we send, it is Reiki, and we are simply a funnel for the Reiki. I like to think of it as putting gas in your car. If you use a funnel to put gas in your car, you put the funnel in the gas tank, you pour gas into the funnel, it goes into the gas tank, you start the car, and off you go. You, as the funnel, do not start the car. You are not what makes the car go. The gas is what makes the car go. Reiki is the gas. You are simply the funnel that allows the gas to flow into the car, who is your client. So please keep that in mind, that any sickness that you might have, any disease, any challenges that you might have, those are not the gas. You are simply the funnel. And those things are not going to make you send bad Reiki. Those things are not going to hurt another person. I've heard this too. The idea that if we have a disease as Reiki practitioners and we send Reiki, oh no, that means someone is going to get our disease and we're afraid of passing our disease along. Nope, it does not work like that. And so I want to encourage you to have no fears, no worries that you are hurting someone else by sending them Reiki when you have a sickness or disease. And I encourage you to know that you are still able to serve as an excellent sender of Reiki, no matter what kind of physical challenges you might have, or emotional or mental, because remember, you are just the funnel. Now, I will say with this, Muhindra, that I do encourage Reiki practitioners to keep their funnel as clean as they can. And by that, I mean to work to raise your vibration, to work through mental and emotional negativity, and to just strive to keep your vibration as high as you can. I do make that encouragement, but that is separate from any kind of disease that you might have. That has nothing to do with any sickness that you may or may not have. So keeping your vibration high is really all about sending love and light out into the world. And we know that you can do that no matter what your physical or mental or emotional challenges might be. So the important thing is to strive to be a good person, be loving, send light into the world, and keep your vibration high. That's what I mean by keeping your funnel clean. But any disease or sickness that you might have will not affect that funnel. So I want to encourage you to continue to send Reiki and to know that you are not impairing anyone. Your sickness, your challenges are not blocking Reiki. The Reiki will come through you. So this really brings up, I think, at its core, questions of this idea of being a healer and healing others. And I think, Muhindra, that oftentimes we meaning Reiki practitioners, energy healers, our clients, just anyone, we may feel that as people who offer healing experiences, people who facilitate healing, people who identify as healers, are the ones doing the healing. But I want to encourage us to consider that healing is such a multifaceted experience. It's such a journey that has multiple levels to it, that you are not, Muhindra, responsible for someone else's healing, which means that you cannot be responsible for blocking someone else's healing. So even as a Reiki practitioner, when you are sending Reiki, when you are serving as a funnel, as a channel, you are sending Reiki on to another, and that sending of the Reiki is just one part of your client's healing process, whatever that might involve. And so you are not responsible for someone's healing. You are only responsible for your own healing. We are all only responsible for our own healing. We are all only responsible for our own healing. So, as a Reiki practitioner, Muhindra, I want to encourage you to not feel responsible for other people's healing, and to therefore not feel responsible for blocking the Reiki that you are sending out, because I know that you are not blocking the flow of Reiki to your clients. And certainly I know that any disease that you may have is not blocking the Reiki. As a matter of fact, the sending of the Reiki, I think, is a wonderful thing for helping us with our own physical, mental, and emotional challenges. I really believe that helping others to heal helps us to heal. Helping others to raise their vibration helps us to raise our vibration. Helping to bring love and light to others helps to bring love and light to ourselves. And so, Muhindra, through the sending of Reiki to others, you may very well be helping yourself with your own physical, mental, emotional health challenges. So I want to encourage you to continue to send Reiki and to know that the sending of this Reiki is just as valid and valuable as any other Reiki practitioner's sending of Reiki. Whether you can see images or pictures or not, whether you can see them in the future, it does not matter. I encourage you to release judgment of that experience for yourself as a Reiki practitioner. I encourage you to release judgment of your ability to see images or hear messages. And I encourage you to release judgment of yourself as someone who is an energy worker, energy healer, light worker, however you identify. I think that oftentimes we as healers, and again, our clients and others, really do think that we are the ones responsible for the healing. Like, oh, if I just find the right healer, then I will be healed. And, let us acknowledge that, sure, there may be some validity to that in terms of the healing modality that they use, maybe their method, maybe that resonates with certain people. And so therefore, they have a better experience, a more positive experience, greater results working with one person versus another. But it doesn't mean that person that their experience wasn't as beneficial with. It doesn't mean that person is not a good person, or doesn't mean that they don't have the ability to help others heal. It just means it didn't resonate as much for that client. Healing is just like anything. Facilitating healing experiences is just like anything. We like some things and we don't like others. It's like flavors of different things, different types of foods that you might like. Maybe I really like kale. I actually do eat a lot of kale. But maybe you prefer I was going to say lentils. I also really like lentils. I eat a lot of lentils too. Cheeseburgers. Let's say that you prefer Muhindra cheeseburgers. I like kale. You like cheeseburgers. Okay, great. So that the kale resonates with me. The cheeseburgers resonate with you. And so that just means that when you are working with an energy healer, a Reiki practitioner, light worker, different energy modalities, whatever, it just means that, maybe you might work better with someone else who resonates with cheeseburgers versus someone who resonates with kale. And that's all okay. Absolutely all okay. And because healing does happen on multiple levels and healing is a process, I think it's important for us to also keep in mind that there is to let go of the expectation that one person is going to, quote, fix us, and that one modality or one Reiki practitioner or one acupuncturist or one sound healer or one whatever is going to be the end-all be-all of our healing. Remember, we are all only responsible for our own healing. And so, different practitioners can offer us different things that might resonate with us in some ways better than what other practitioners might offer. And that's all okay. So Muhindra, I am saying all of this to say that there is nothing wrong with you as a Reiki practitioner that there are indeed people, clients who don't care if you can see images and don't even care to know if you can. And they don't necessarily want the messages or images that you might see if you did see them. So it's okay to let go of that judgment of yourself. And it's okay to accept where you are on your Reiki journey and to accept even where you are on your own healing journey. So, Muhindra, I would like to send some Reiki to you as a Reiki practitioner for your Reiki journey. And I'm not sending Reiki so that you see images. So my intention here, Muhindra, is not, I'm going to send you some Reiki with the intention that you can see images and messages. That is not what I'm doing, Muhindra. I want to send you Reiki to encourage you and to ease your fears and concerns about your Reiki journey. And so I am sending Reiki to you to help you with your healing journey, your Reiki journey, in releasing judgment of where you are on your journey. Now, for anyone else listening, I'll be sending Reiki with that intention for Muhindra, but I'm going to include you in that too as well. Whether you are a Reiki practitioner, whether you are an energy healer, a light worker, however you identify, whatever you might call yourself, or even if you identify as none of the above, remember that we are all healers, in the sense that we all have the ability to help one another heal. So even if you don't identify as a healer, full disclosure, I don't identify as a healer. And I know you're thinking, Christian, you're a Reiki practitioner. What do you mean? Yeah, you're a healer. Well, I don't call myself a healer because it goes back to that idea of each person is responsible for their own healing, and I can facilitate your healing and I can offer healing experiences, but ultimately the healing is something that happens within. And so I don't call myself a healer. But I believe that we are all healers. Now, I know that's so very paradoxical, so very contradictory, but that is the way that I see it. We all have the capacity to help one another heal, just like we all have the capacity to wound one another. So I want to send Reiki to Muhindra and to any other Reiki practitioners or energy workers or people, period, listening, that we all send loving, healing energy into the world, and that we all strive to be healers rather than wounders, that we all strive to help one another heal. Oh, by the way, Muhindra, before I send some Reiki, I also want to say this, that sometimes people feel that if they have a sickness or a disease, if they have a challenge, that they're not worthy of sending Reiki or of being a practitioner or of helping others heal. And I want to say that I want to encourage that is really, in my estimation, not the case. That if we all waited until we were fully healed then no one would ever be involved in any healing modality. Because let's face it, everyone, we all have a lot of healing to do. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you are on your journey. We all have a lot of healing to do. And if you are all done, no more healing, I'm good, Christian, well, guess what? You are still alive. You are still a human being. And so there's going to be the need for healing again in the future. You're going to have experiences that you're going to have healing from, and that you're going to need to go through that healing process. That's just something that is part of our human experience. And so, not to be the bearer of bad news, but we are all always healing. And we are all always on a healing journey, which means that if we all waited until we were fully healed to help heal others, wow, we would not be ever helping one another to heal. We need to start where we are. We need to do what we feel guided to do. And if that means being a Reiki practitioner, then go for it. If that means some other modality, go for it. If that means just reaching out and listening to people and sending love and encouragement, do it. And know that you do not need to be completely healed in order to do that. And as I mentioned earlier, I do believe that that helps us to heal as well. So, Muhindra, I'm going to send some Reiki to you and to all those listening. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I want you to know that I greatly appreciate you. I greatly appreciate you listening. I greatly appreciate your attention. You know, the truth is that you could be listening to anything else in the world right now. You know, on the wide world of YouTube, where, of course, Ask the Stones is posted, you could be listening or watching any other video right now, and you are listening to this one. And so I want you to know that you have my deep gratitude for spending this time with me, this sacred time where we can connect across the distance, across time. It's really phenomenal when you think about it. And so I want you to know that I am truly honored every time I get to reach and connect with you in this way. So I invite you to please take a few deep cleansing breaths with me, as always, everyone. If you don't want to receive the Reiki, don't worry, it won't go to you. And if there is someone somewhere in particular you would like it to go, you are welcome to set that intention, but know that the Reiki knows where it needs to go. And I invite you to get comfortable and close your eyes. This will only take a moment. Thank you so much for the honor of sending you Reiki. Muhindra, I will say that as I began to send Reiki, I did see an image. If I did not see an image, that means nothing. That is nothing negative. So if I saw nothing, it doesn't mean anything, good or bad. And so when I sent Reiki, I did see an image, just one that just popped up immediately, and it was a stethoscope. You know, the thing that the doctor uses when they listen to your heart. And I got two impressions from the stethoscope. First, this idea of healing. So very clear idea of healing, this theme of healing. And the second impression that I got was an encouragement, Muhindra, and for all of us, to turn that stethoscope to our own heart and to listen in to our own heart, to turn in, to focus in on our own healing and getting in touch with ourselves and the things that we need, and to focus in on our own healing. So that is what I picked up from the stethoscope. Now, Muhindra, I'm going to pull a card for you. I'm going to pull an Archangel card, and we'll see what the Archangels have to say. And Muhindra, there is so much to say on this idea of healing and healing others, and just being a conduit, a channel, a funnel for healing, as I drop all the cards. So this is not the end-all be-all of this topic. And this is the kind of thing that we could talk about forever and talk about it again and again and again. And I'm positive that I'll get a question like this again, and I will answer it. And maybe my views will change in the future. That's part of the journey, being open to that change, whether that is a change of attitude, a change of experience, or a change in terms of whether or not you see images or hear messages. Again, it's not something that you'll want to force. It's not something that you will want to reach for that isn't there, and to be providing images and messages that you're really just, I don't want to say making up, Muhindra, but rather grasping for that aren't there. Now, as I shuffled, a card popped straight out, flew out, fell onto the ground, and here it is. It is Archangel Michael, whose card is Crystal Clear Intentions. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. Whoa, there you have it. So, Archangel Michael is encouraging you to be clear about what you desire. So, Muhindra, if you desire to see images and hear messages, Archangel Michael is encouraging you to have clarity about that and to focus upon it, and with unwavering faith. So to have faith that this will happen, this will come. And it very well may. I also want to say that if it doesn't, Muhindra, it doesn't mean that anything is wrong. But you are getting the encouragement from Archangel Michael to put that intention out there and to trust. I think really that's the main message in that card, is trust. Just trusting and knowing that it is all for the highest good. Now, Muhindra, I also want to pull for you a Breathe Easy card for a mantra, maybe something to assist you as you set that intention. So let me get these cards out and let's see what we might come up with. as a mantra for you to think about, focus on, and use as you set your intention. I am meditating. To be aware of only the rhythm of our breathing, slowly out and in. This is the way of meditation. I breathe in the stillness beyond time and space. I am filled with a nothingness that contains everything. I breathe out my mind's chatter. You may, Muhindra, want to try meditating and see if that assists you with the images and the messages. That may be something that assists you with seeing and hearing messages and images. But again, I refrain, Muhindra, from providing techniques and tips for how to do it, because in my estimation, it's not something that I want you to feel is wrong and that you need to fix. So yes, I always encourage meditation, but you absolutely could try meditation and see what images, impressions, pictures, thoughts, feelings, messages might come up. And then that may help you to experience that while you are sending Reiki. Another thing that someone else might recommend is to send Reiki to yourself, so practice self-Reiki, and that could assist you with the seeing of the pictures and getting the messages. So those are some ways that you could maybe help you to see the images. But again, I refrain from offering tips and techniques simply because I don't want to give the impression that it's something wrong that needs to be fixed. That's all. But Muhindra, those are things that you could try and see how they work for you. Because at the very least, meditation is a great practice and very helpful, and so is self-Reiki. So I recommend those either way. You can't go wrong with doing them. So I say give them a try anyway. But I do send you blessings for your Reiki journey, whatever that looks like now and whatever that looks like in the future. It is a journey, and so know that as journeys go, it is a winding path that has different experiences for you along the way. So I encourage you to accept and surrender, trust, and know that you are worthy and you are deserving, and there is nothing wrong with the Reiki that you are sending. So thank you so much, Muhindra. Thank you all for listening. I send you all blessings and best wishes for your journey. Again, I am Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, encouraging your journey with Reiki, card reading, and coaching for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. Blessings for your journey.